Hi, Haley Jensen here. I've got Summer Rose. Let me get you a close up here of her face. Hi. Sit. Good girl. There she is. Hi. Okay. I'm just going to make a little video here for you to address some of the stuff that you were asking about in your email. Let me get my whole camera set up there. Okay. So first of all, you asked about jumping and what to do if she jumps up on you. And we do have a method that we use that works really, really well with the puppies. And I really encourage you to teach all your family members, kids, and everybody to respond this way. Number one, just as a preventative thing, just get everybody in the habit of always expecting that sit when she approaches you. And if she doesn't do it, you know, if she comes up to you and she's not jumping or being naughty or anything, she's just standing still. Ask for it. Give her the hand signal for a sit. Good girl, good girl. And ask her for a sit. Golden retrievers especially are very, very rewarded by attention and affection. They really enjoy that. So make sure that you don't give that out just freely. Wait for her to plant herself down. Good girl. Before you give that. Hi. If she does jump up on you, our natural tendency is to do all the wrong things. First of all, we want to push them off or knee them or kick them or something. Most dogs will interpret that as a play gesture, either that or if they sense that you're mad and you're angry and you're getting after them, then they'll want to appease you, which makes them want to get to your face more. So that'll encourage them to jump more, so don't do that. The second thing is we usually kind of back up, and when we back up, they gain ground on us, and we don't want them to do that either. So the best thing to do if a dog jumps up on you is to hurry and cross your arms and put your nose in the air. Just like that, like you're being snooty. Put your nose up in the air. And I know that looks kind of silly, and to be honest with you, I've known that trick for years, and I didn't use it for years because I thought there's no way that would ever work. And we tried it, and it actually works really, really well. And so we've implemented that into our program for the last couple of years. But yeah, that's what I'd recommend for if she jumps up on you. Let's see, what else did you... Oh, okay, so you asked about chewing and how to respond if she's chewing on something that she's not allowed to chew. That depends on what she's chewing. There's things that... The best route to take is prevention and substitution. So you want to prevent her from having unsupervised access to anything she is not allowed to chew, and that's your best route. But having said that, there's some things in the house that you can't keep away from her. She's always going to have access to. For example, your furniture, your table legs, your chair legs. And these are things that you want to teach her are off limits. She can understand that those are off limits. And so if you ever see her going and putting her mouth on that and going after that, trying to chew it, give a definite no, and that goes into the correction cue, which you also asked about, and so I'll talk about that here in just a second. Say no and redirect her onto something that is appropriate for her to chew. And dogs, especially puppies, are just really, really oral by nature, and especially since they're at this age, they're teething, and so they really need to chew. So make sure you have lots of appropriate things for her to chew. For example, you know, if she's going after your couch or something soft, then grab like a soft stuffy toy for her to chew on. If she's going after wood or like a table leg or something that's hard, then pull her off it, say no, pull her off it, immediately take her to her bed, redirect her to her bed, and grab something tough like a nylabone or a bully stick or something that's hard for her to chew on, because you know, she's indicating that that's what she wants, is she wants something hard to really get her teeth into. So using the definite word no and doing that consistently, and she'll learn that those things are just off limits. She just can't have them. On the other hand, if she just grabs something that's laying around your house that she's not allowed to have, it's going to be really, really difficult for you to teach her the difference between her toys and your things. Because there's probably lots of both in your home, I would guess, if you're like most of us. So the best thing to do is, like I said before, prevention. Keep it away from her. And if she grabs it, hurry and grab a hold of it and ask her to drop it. And I'll show you that too here in just a second. And then replace it with something that is appropriate for her to chew, like I mentioned before. So yeah, that's how I would go about that. Use the no command if she's chewing on something that she's going to have constant access to, that you can't keep her from, so that she can learn that that's not appropriate for her to chew. Just use a simple cue of drop it and replace with something else if she's just grabbed something that is yours and not hers, and that would be the best way to go about that. So yeah, and we talked about the correction cue, and you mentioned and we've used that in the past, and I don't know if that's what it says in the manual or not, if I haven't updated it in the last couple of months, but the last several months we've been using no and nope. And there's two kinds of corrections that I use. I call them a misdemeanor and a felony. So a misdemeanor is like if she's learning something new and she just doesn't understand, then you just calmly say no or nope and remove the expected reward and ask her to start again. And when she successfully completes it, then reward her, okay, with what the reward that she was expecting. And just use it very calmly. So a felony correction, that's when you get your scary dad voice on, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows a scary dad somewhere. And that's when she's doing something that she knows she's not supposed to do, like attempting to squat in the house as an example. Anytime if she ever tries to show aggression, that's an example. Yeah, anyway, just breaking a rule, jumping up like we talked about before, that would be a definite no. Having said that, knowing Goldens, I've just trained so many Goldens, and knowing her personality in particular, she's very sensitive to correction. So a little bit goes a long way with her. So especially the first couple days and weeks, I would really be cautious about preventing her from making mistakes, and being cautious about using that no word, because that'll really shut them down emotionally for a little while, and I've experienced that. So yeah, really build up the bond first, get her trust, get her confidence, before you start using felony corrections. But that's how we use that. And I always couple it with 2 firm taps on the leash, and probably taps isn't the right word, 2 good firm pops on the leash. For the first little while, I really recommend that you let her walk around and drag a leash. And if you give 2 quick, firm pops, that'll differentiate from when she just steps on her leash or gets it snagged on something, and give her a definite signal that whatever she's doing is inappropriate and unacceptable. So say no, 2 firm pops, and just be really, really consistent with that. Make sure everybody in the family's on the same page, so that one person isn't holding her to a certain expectation and somebody isn't, because that'll really confuse her, and anyway, she won't be able to follow through with the rules unless everybody's on the same page with that. So I hope that answers your correction cue question. Let's go ahead and I'll show you go to bed. And so what we want with that is we just go close to the bed, and you just signal, you point with your hand, and you say go to bed, and send her completely to her bed. And I'll show you how that works here in just a second. And you also asked how long to expect her to stay on her bed without being released. She's at a good 20 to 30 second stay on her bed, and that's a really, really good puppy stay. Puppies have a very short attention span, and she's starting to get to that age where you can build that up really quickly. So doing a down stay on the bed is a really, really good a daily obedience exercise, because it's just one of those things that really solidifies her relationship with you as a leader, and just teaches self-control. It teaches a lot of things. So what I really recommend is that if your family has a natural downtime during the day, like you read or maybe do homework or watch television or whatever, that every day you just practice this. Have her bed close to where you are and have her there with her leash attached, and put her in a downstay on her bed and just have a hold of that leash. And if she tries to get up and walk off, just give her a tap and bring her back. And you'll notice, and you may have noticed in the previous video, that she's very oriented to her bed on her own. She really just kind of spends a lot of time there, and we've really tried to intentionally magnetize her to that spot so that it really helps them to have that physical spot that's theirs. That's their spot. Are you comfy, huh, girl? So, yeah. Let me go ahead and show you what to expect with sending her to bed on command. And another point along with that too is that if she goes to her bed on her own, like just now she just walked off it, she's allowed to come and go at will. And that's okay. But if you send her to her bed on command, then she needs to stay. And if she's tempted to break, go ahead and give her the signal and ask her to stay. But she needs to know that if you send her to her bed on command, that she's there until you give her the release word. So, yeah. Ready? Here. Go to bed. Good, just like that. So you just stand close to the bed and you just point to it and send her right to her bed. There you go. And I don't care what position she's in, sitting, standing, lying down. I just want her completely on her bed, and I want her to stay there until she's released. That's a good girl. Yeah, that's a good girl. So, yeah, I hope that answers your questions. Please feel free to let me know if you have any other questions. And thanks. Sit. Good girl. Oops, where are you? There you are. Come here.